Wheels of Fire is the third album by the British rock band Cream. It was released in 1968 as a 2-disc vinyl LP, with one disc recorded in the studio and the other recorded live. It reached number 3 in the United Kingdom and number 1 in the United States, becoming the first platinum-selling double album. In 2003 it was ranked number 203 on Rolling Stone magazine's list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. It was the world's first double album to be certified with a platinum disc. It was also released as 2 single long players, Wheels of Fire and Wheels of Fire, released together with similar cover art. In the UK the studio album art was black print on aluminium foil while the live album art was a negative image of the studio cover. In Japan the studio album art was black on gold foil while the live album art was black on aluminium foil. In Australia both covers were laminated copies of the Japanese releases. Background: Cream's third album was planned to be a double album on which Atco Records producer Felix Pappalardi and the group would include several live performances. Recording the group and Pappalardi had, in July and August 1967, recorded studio material at IBC Studios in London, and at Atlantic Studios in New York City during September and October of the same year. Additional studio material was recorded at Atlantic Studios in January and February 1968, during a break from the band's heavy tour schedule. The following month, Pappalardi ordered for a mobile recording studio in Los Angeles to be shipped to the Fillmore Auditorium and the Winterland Ballroom in San Francisco. 6 shows were recorded in San Francisco by Pappalardi and recording engineer Bill Halverson, and extra performances not included on Wheels of Fire ended up on Live Cream, and Live Cream Volume 2. Production and artwork. The recording engineers on Disc 1 were Tom Dowd and Adrian Barber, the songs on Disc 2 were recorded by Bill Halverson and the performances on the second disc were mixed by Adrian Barber. The artwork for the album was by Martin Sharp who had also done the artwork for Disraeli Gears. The photography was by Jim Marshall. Songs. The band's drummer Ginger Baker co-wrote 3 songs for the album with pianist Mike Taylor. Bassist Jack Bruce co-wrote 4 songs with poet Pete Brown. Guitarist Eric Clapton contributed to the album by choosing 2 cover songs. For the second disc Felix Pappalardi chose Train Time, because it featured Jack Bruce performing a harmonica solo, and Toad, because it features Ginger Baker's drumming while Spoonful and Crossroads were used to showcase Eric Clapton's guitar playing. Track listing. Disc 1, In the Studio. Disc 2, Live at the Fillmore. Performers on Disc 1 are the Cream Quartet consisting of Clapton, Baker, and Bruce together with Felix Pappalardi, who plays many different instruments and is also credited with production. Note 1, some pressings of this album contain an alternative version of Passing the Time. This long version is extended by 67 seconds, but also differs from the extended version included on Those Were the Days, which is longer by a further 80 seconds. Note 2, original US pressings of Wheels of Fire incorrectly listed the running time of Deserted Cities of the Heart at 4:36. Note 3, Side 1 tracks 1 and 3 and Side 2 tracks 2, 3, 4 and 5 of the studio album were processed with the Hariko CSG system. Also processed was Anyone for Tennis, which was recorded at the same sessions and appears on some versions of the album. Hariko CSG was intended to make stereo recordings that were fully compatible with mono playback equipment. The unfortunate side effect is that it blurs the stereo imaging of musical parts mixed to the Phantom Center channel. Using modern digital audio processing software it is possible to reverse the Hariko CSG effect. During the 10th March 1st set, Spoonful preceded Crossroads, and though it seems as though Train Time orally precedes Toad, Train Time was recorded a day later, and expertly edited to seamlessly blend into the introduction to Toad. While the disc is labeled Live at the Fillmore, only Toad was recorded at the Fillmore. The other tracks were recorded live at the Winterland Ballroom in San Francisco. Note 4, original album pressings list John Group as the author of Train Time. The John Group appellation dates back to Jack Bruce's tenure with the Graham Bond Organization, and was used by that band to ensure that members other than Bond received songwriting royalties. The song is based on a vintage blues by Peter Chapman. Personnel, per liner notes, Jack Bruce Euro vocals, lead vocals, bass, cello, harmonica, calliope, acoustic guitar, recorder, Ginger Baker Euro drums, percussion, bells, glockenspiel, timpani, spoken word on pressed rat and warthog, Eric Clapton Euro guitar, vocals, Felix Papaladi Euro viola, bells, organ, trumpet, Tonette, Tom Dowd Euro recording engineer on disc 1, Adrian Barber Euro recording engineer on disc 1, remix engineer on disc 2, Joseph M. Palmexio Euro digital remastering, Martin Sharp Euro art, Jim Marshall Euro photography. Personnel for the studio recordings, White Room, Eric Clapton, guitars, Jack Bruce, bass, vocals, Ginger Baker, drums, timpani, Felix Papaladi Euro viola, Sitting on Top of the World, Eric Clapton, acoustic guitar, Jack Bruce, bass, vocals, Ginger Baker, drums, Passing the Time, Eric Clapton, acoustic guitars, backing vocals, Jack Bruce, bass, lead vocals, calliope, Ginger Baker, drums, backing vocals, glockenspiel, Felix Papaladi Euro organ pedals, As You Said, Jack Bruce, acoustic guitar, vocals, cello, Ginger Baker, hi-hat, pressed rat and warthog, Eric Clapton, guitars, Jack Bruce, basses, recorder, Ginger Baker, drums, spoken word, Felix Papaladi Euro. Trumpet, Tonette, politician, Eric Clapton, guitars, Jack Bruce, bass, vocals, Ginger Baker, drums, Those Were the Days, Eric Clapton, guitars, backing vocals, Jack Bruce, bass, lead vocals, Ginger Baker, drums, marimba, tubular bells, Felix Papaladi Euro Swiss and bells, Born Under a Bad Sign, Eric Clapton, guitars, Jack Bruce, bass, vocals, Ginger Baker, drums, tambourine, Deserted Cities of the Heart, Eric Clapton, guitars, Jack Bruce, bass, vocals, cello, acoustic guitar, Ginger Baker, drums, tambourine, Felix Papaladi Euro viola. Charts and certifications. Single releases. References. External links, The Making of Wheels of Fire Euro from the official Ginger Baker archive, double and single album releases.